Hello, my wonderful friends. Sally the Seeker here. It has been a while. I'm not even going to say that old cliche. It's been a minute, because it's been more than a minute. It's probably been at least 2 weeks, if not more. I have missed you all. I have just had a few challenges. One is work, school. This year has probably been one of our most challenging years. Like I said, I am in the kindergarten for ESE. A lot of the children have autism, but then we have children that have other problems. And then you have children that really shouldn't be in the class with the children that we currently have, like some that are have the mentality of a toddler. And while I feel for them and their family, it's really challenging. It's very challenging if they're not in the correct class, because you've got this kid sitting here shredding magazines like a toddler should, but then he's also bigger than a toddler, and he's throwing chairs, but luckily he's not a good aim, and you feel for all of them, but it's very challenging because a lot of these students need one-on-one, and there's only 2 of us, and we have some that are runners, and we had one that had a seizure one day, and the mom didn't have any backup seizure medicine, so we had to wait with him till an ambulance came. It's just been a challenge. So I'll just tell you, sometimes the job just wears me out. And the other thing is, while I am still doing Darrell Brooks, I think I've stated in other videos that I have been doing a lot of research on the boy in the box case, which Timothy Ferreter was found guilty from a jury back on October the 12th. It's here in Florida, jacked up Florida, my wonderful jacked up Florida state. But his sentencing will occur November 16th. So just maybe, less than 2 weeks from now. So I've been really working very hard to cover this trial, because it's not as long as most, but it's very interesting, sad, but it looks like justice will prevail. But the other thing that's interesting about it is that his wife, Tracy, is yet to have to testify about this case. So, but I've had a lot of challenges from YouTube, and you'll probably hear that on the first video I post of the Ferreter case. If you choose to watch, it's very interesting, and to me it would be hard not to stick with it, because especially with a wife still having trial pending. But you have ads, of course, and thanks to you all, of course, I have been able to be monetized. But they look at it, and you're supposed to rate each video, and it's so strange, because they'll rate this one saying either it will make no money off ads or it'll be limited, because it may not. Now the material, yes, it's a false imprisonment of a child, but you don't see anything. You might hear of something, but it's just, to me, I've shown a lot worse. I said worst. I can't talk. Worse videos of other things that it doesn't seem to alert them. So I'm trying to figure this thing out. I'm okay even if it decides not to pay me. I just don't want it to be where they'll yank it and yank all my videos off. I'm still pretty new at all this, so I don't want to mess things up. But anyhow, right now, I do have some Darrell to deliver with you. And let me just get on with that, because I know you've heard enough of me. But this is an interesting one, to where the witness he calls, it's one of his witnesses. He doesn't get as crazy as he did with the last witness on the prior video, which he was so dreadful to. But it's still interesting, because it's one of those, when he first questions her, you're like, well, she's really got nothing. But then the prosecution questions her, and she's got lots of stuff. It's all about being a lawyer and knowing how to be a lawyer, which Darrell, would love to think he knows, but he does not. And that's the difference between a real lawyer and a fake lawyer, because our friend Zach is able to pull a lot of stuff out of her, which ends up another win for the prosecution. So let's watch it and enjoy. And I tell you what, I have also been watching, I won't lie, I've been cheating a little, but it's still, the other things have been a hindrance for me getting more material up. But the case where they just found Charlie Adelson guilty, I don't know if you've been watching that case. I didn't know that had been going on since 2014. Another freaky Florida case, which is so crazy with the family involved. Let me know below if you have been following that case. And actually, if there is a case that you would like for me to follow, because maybe that would be easier to find one that you are interested in, let me know and I'll see what I can do about it. But again, let me go on without further ado. I'm probably going to have a lot to say because I've been used to watching court where they have like both of the attorneys are real, whether you like them or not. They're real. And so I'm going to be probably very annoyed with Darrell and his ridiculous antics. So just pardon me. I'll probably stop it a lot. But here we go.
The record, it's 3:58. Appearances are as they were before. Jury is coming into the courtroom.
Subject matter jurisdiction.
Yeah.
Your request, as I understand it, is noted. The objection is noted. It's overruled. We'll continue with the questioning of a witness. You may call your next witness as soon as all the jurors get in the jury box. All right, thank you. Please be seated. Go ahead, sir. You may call your next witness.
Don't act
Next
like...
calls Heather Riemer.
What is that expression for? And his eye roll. Wow, I already want to smack him right off the bat. Right off the bat. He's looking all cocky. Yeah, read your Bible. I'm sorry. I'm going to try to shut up, but I can't because I haven't watched this unprofessional person in a few weeks, and the break was good. I got to be honest. Okay. Heather Riemer.
Good afternoon, ma'am. If you would please make your way to the witness stand. When you get there, please remain standing. Raise your right hand. It is up a riser. Be mindful of that. And then my clerk, Teresa.
Do you solemnly swear that the testimony you're about to give shall be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Thank you, ma'am. Please have a seat. The first thing I will ask you to do is to state your first and last names for the record and then spell each.
Heather Riemer, Heather Riemer.
Thank you. Go ahead, sir, your witness.
Good afternoon, Miss Riemer. How are you feeling today?
I'm okay.
I want to direct your attention to the evening of November 21st of 2021. Do you recall what you were doing that evening?
I was at the Waukesha Christmas parade.
And do you recall who you were with at the parade?
I was with my husband and 3 friends and one of their children.
About what time, if you recall, did you and your family arrive?
Right before it started, we were running late, and then by the time we got to where we were seated, it was right before it started. I don't recall exact time.
Do you recall where you and your family were positioned along the parade route that evening?
At the time, I don't remember, but I later found out that it was the Historical Society.
recall weather-wise that evening? Was it a pretty chilly evening?
Yes.
If you recall?
Yes.
Pretty windy?
Yes.
So I'm assuming at some point you observed a bit of commotion. Would that be fair to say?
Yes.
And do you recall what that commotion was?
Everyone running around was the biggest commotion.
At that point, did the area you were positioned in get pretty loud, chaotic?
Yeah, screaming gets loud.
Before, do you remember what you and your family were doing directly prior to the parade that evening?
I don't recall.
At the point you observed this commotion, what did you do from that point?
Started running.
I'm assuming with you and your family all took the same course of action.
We all ran, yes.
From
And where did
you?
you run to?
Away from the parade route. I'm not familiar with streets. I'm thinking it's East Avenue. We ran down that road.
Would that be a side street connected to the main parade route? Or,
Yes, it was a perpendicular road.
do you recall if that side street was barricaded in any way?
I don't recall.
Do you recall if there were any law enforcement officers stationed at that side street?
I don't recall.
Did you, at any time during the commotion when you and your family were at the parade, do you recall seeing anything that drew your attention in any way?
Yes.
And do you recall what that was that you saw?
A red Ford SUV driving through faster than all the other cars in the parade.
And what did you observe this vehicle doing at the time that it caught your attention?
It was honking.
Oh,
Well, I heard honking. I'm not positive if it was the red SUV or another car alerting.
Did you notice any other vehicles
He's gonna run with a
around the
honking.
vehicle you saw, following the vehicle you saw?
Following, no. It passed a float that had a vehicle in the parade. So it was by another vehicle, yes.
And it was passing the other vehicle you're referring
Yes.
to, correct? And you stated reference to honking.
Here we go.
In your opinion, strictly your opinion, why would a vehicle honk its horn?
To alert somebody.
Do you recall I'm assuming at some point the vehicle passed the position where you were. Would that be fair to say?
Yes.
At any time during the vehicle's passing you, did you see who was driving the vehicle?
No.
Did you notice if they were intense to the vehicle as far as windows?
Ma'am, can you speak up a bit?
Oh, I don't recall.
Thank you.
Do you recall if you were able to see into the vehicle?
I don't recall.
Do you recall if you got a chance to catch the license plate number of the vehicle?
No, I didn't.
And from your recollection, when the vehicle passed you, were the windows up or down?
I don't recall.
And did you at some time report what you saw to law enforcement that evening?
That evening, I did not, no.
Did you at any time report what you had saw that evening to law enforcement?
Yes.
And do you recall what agency that law enforcement officer was from?
I don't recall. I'm gonna assume Waukesha, but I don't recall.
And during the course of reporting what you saw, was it more of a recorded interview, or were they writing down what you were telling them?
I was on the phone, so I don't know what they were doing.
Do you recall if that was in the days following the incident or a little longer after that?
It was after the incident. I don't know how long after.
It looks like she'd probably rather have a root canal than to go through this with him.
Upon arriving at the parade that evening with your family, did you notice any of the side streets barricaded in any way? Any of them?
Yes.
Do you recall if there were law enforcement officers at those barricaded side streets?
I don't recall.
Do you recall about how long the parade had been ongoing before you saw this vehicle?
I don't recall.
And from that point, did you and your family immediately leave the parade and head home, or?
We left. We didn't head home.
Did you or any of your family members suffer any injuries during this incident?
No.
At any time after the incident, do you recall seeing any news reports related to this incident?
Yes.
Did you keep up with those reports, or was it just that evening or the days?
Just a couple days within whatever was right immediately. I not a person to watch the news.
And after that initial phone conversation with law enforcement, did any more law enforcement officers follow up with you about the report?
No,
Did you yourself follow up with law enforcement after that
no.
initial report? Did you yourself observe the vehicle that passed you during the parade? Did you yourself witness anyone injured by the vehicle?
I don't believe so.
That's all I have right now.
Thank you. Any cross?
Yes, briefly. Thank you, Your Honor. Good afternoon, Ms. Riemer. Thank you for being here today.
Yes.
I'd like you to take a look at the man seated to my right, table to your left, Mr. Brooks. You ever seen that man before?
Said to being called that name.
Noted, overruled.
Yes.
Tell us about when you've seen Mr. Brooks before.
Ooh.
Objection leading.
Ooh.
It's cross-exam, so it's proper. They may leave. You may answer.
As we were driving to the parade, we were coming to a stoplight and we saw the red SUV coming down the wrong way on the road, and I slowed down because the car in front of me started to back up to let him through.
Oh, so now remember there was the two people that already witnessed him at the gas station prior to him mowing people over during the parade. And he was coming down the wrong way and acting angry at the fellow at the light who actually backed up for him, I think. And then there was the other woman, young woman who witnessed it, and it looks like she witnessed it too. Wow, I mean, these eyewitnesses are just piling up for him. How interesting.
This took place outside of a gas station, is that correct?
Yes.
Your Honor, I'd ask that we display for everybody exhibit number 7. It's previously been received and published.
Go ahead.
Objection to relevancy.
7 has previously been received. Overruled.
Seems like
Is
it's
it relevant to this particular witness?
Yes, it is.
what a dumb question.
Yes, go ahead and publish, Madam Clerk.
Of course, it's relevant to this
Ms.
witness.
Riemer, can you see the map depicted on the screen in front of you?
Yes.
We're looking at the intersection of North Street and Barstow Street. Does that look correct to you?
Yes.
And is this the gas station that we're talking about?
Correct.
And you were parked on North Street facing southwestbound at the time, is that right?
Objection, speculation.
Overruled. The witness may answer.
Is
Speculation.
that the way of traffic? I don't know.
Well, let's
North,
assume, based on these arrows here,
Yep.
Objection, speculation.
Yep.
They're on the map. Overruled. Her answer was yes, and you may ask the next question.
We
Madam
Darrell.
Clerk, can we please clear
You
the
didn't do your
intersection?
homework, did you?
And
That
you
was
saw the red
Darrell.
SUV that we've been talking about come the wrong way on North Street, is that right?
Correct.
And what happened after that?
Should I draw?
Sure, yep, that's a touchscreen, go for it.
So I stopped roughly back here, as the car that was here started to reverse this way.
Okay, can we please, let's get a screen grab of this, please, Your Honor, and mark it as Exhibit 7.
It'll be C as in cat. Or Charlie.
C, Charlie, please.
It will be so marked. And just for the record, the green line was placed by Attorney Wichow from, as you're looking at the exhibit, left to right to demonstrate travel of a vehicle in his question. And then the witness put the yellow marks on the screen. And it will be received as 7C as in Charlie. Go ahead.
Objection to relevancy.
Overruled.
Love how Zach is looking at him.
You saw Darrell Brooks driving that red SUV in front of that gas station, is that correct?
Objection.
At that time, I didn't know.
Being called that name, and it's speculative.
No, none of that.
Overruled. You may answer.
At that time, I didn't know his name, but yes.
But now that you see him sitting in court today,
Yes.
that's the guy.
Yes.
That's the guy.
Speculative.
You're so
Overruled.
stupid. Why did you
The
call
record will reflect
her?
the identification of the defendant as the driver of the red SUV she saw as depicted in this exhibit.
Thank you. May we please display for everybody exhibit number 15, which has also previously been received and published.
Go ahead.
Can we zoom in, please, on the intersection of Main Street and Northeast Avenue?
Objection. Relevancy.
I presume the question will provide the relevance, so go ahead.
Thank you. You were sitting in front of the Historical Society you testified?
Yes.
And do you recognize this map in front of you?
Objection. Speculative.
Overruled. The witness may answer.
Gosh.
No, I don't.
Okay. Would the Historical Society be near this intersection that I'm circling, East and Main?
Yes.
Okay, we can please remove that annotation, Madam Clerk. When you saw the red SUV drive by, you testified you could not see the driver, correct?
Correct.
Because it was going so fast?
Yes.
Did you ever see that SUV come to a stop at any point on Main Street?
No.
In fact, did you see it accelerate as it traveled towards more people?
Yes.
Objection. Speculative.
No, I think not.
It says, overruled. The witness may answer.
Sound
Yes.
like you was going to say substantial.
And then I remembered you had called the witness, not the state. So cross-examination is appropriate.
So
Fair
funny.
enough, though. Next question.
I hate when he gets chummy with a
Did
judge.
we get an answer on it?
I said yes.
Okay, thank you. That's all I have.
Redirect, sir.
Yes.
Do you want any of the exhibits up?
I forgot what the one was before this.
You know what kills me? He should just be so ashamed and embarrassed for himself right now. And I'm not saying that he's completely stupid because, as I say, I still will say he was smart enough to run that courtroom multiple times by wasting everybody's air and space and patience. But how stupid could he be to just hand over something to the prosecution like this? I mean, what a sweet deal. I mean, did he not read the notes? I don't know. I don't get it. He couldn't have studied the notes very easily, very much in his boxes and papers. But let's see what he has to say. How can he redeem himself in this testimony?
7 was the map with, the gas station. This is 15. I'm going to turn it off until you tell me you need something.
I need exhibit 7.
All right, the state would put that up and we'll publish it for the jury as well.
And when shown this exhibit on cross, you stated you were approximately around. As a matter of fact, that wouldn't be fair. Can you erase that that mark, please?
He
Please
said,
clear.
please?
Will you show again where your
He said,
vehicle
please.
was positioned?
It's just a rough estimate, but
Okay.
probably right out here.
And where we?
That's when I initially slowed down. to stop.
Okay. And you stated there was another car that did a backing up motion. Can you show again where that?
Yeah, let your
vehicle
sorry
was
ass
positioned?
in.
If they were at the light going this way, backing up.
If you recall, or do you recall, if there were any vehicles in this space right here?
There was none.
estimate, about how far would you estimate the distance is between your vehicle and the vehicle that was at the light? Rough estimate.
I never came to a complete stop back there. It's when I started to slow down.
So you were still kind of rolling forward a little bit?
Yes. Because they backed up and then moved forward, and so then I moved forward.
So you didn't come to a stop until you noticed that vehicle backing up?
No, I didn't come to a complete stop until we were back up at the light. I started to slow down at that point.
So where did you end up? I'm sorry, can you erase the white circle?
I can erase all of it or none of it?
The white circle.
Only, I think it's just all or nothing.
Oh, all. I'm sorry.
Mm-hmm.
So let's start this again.
Let's start it again.
Where did you finally come to a complete stop at, if you recall? And at that time, well, back up a little bit before I get to that.
Mm.
You observed an SUV, you say, at some point before you came to a complete stop?
Yes.
And what did you see that vehicle do?
Drive this way.
What did you see it do after you noticed that it was coming in that direction?
Turn here.
Would that be into the gas station?
Yes.
And what did you see the vehicle do at that point?
Roll down their window and yell something at the car in front of me.
Did it stop?
Yes.
Was it, I'm assuming you might know what I mean by this. Was it like a brake stop or was it a park stop? If you recall.
If you're not in the vehicle, how do you know that they put it in park?
Well, brake stop would be brake lights, but okay.
Objection, move to strike.
Yeah, strike.
I'll grant that, strike the last statement made by the defendant, but you may ask your next question.
Yes, move on. Snarky
And
remark.
how long were you at the light?
Just a very short time. It turned green pretty quickly.
And in that short time, you were able to see who was driving the vehicle, the SUV, as you say, that went into the gas station.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. That's right. You heard her.
Is that the same SUV you saw at the parade that evening?
Yes.
The same vehicle that
Mm-hmm.
you said you don't recall if it was tinted or not?
Yes.
So at the point of seeing this vehicle at the gas station, at that point, did you notice any tints?
I don't recall.
Did you notice if there was anyone else in the vehicle at that time?
I only saw one person.
Could you see into the back of the vehicle?
I don't recall.
Can you see the passenger seat of the vehicle?
Yes.
Was anybody in the passenger seat?
No.
But you don't know for sure about the back seat.
No, I couldn't see it.
Can we take down this Exhibit 7?
Go ahead.
Pull up Exhibit 15. Can we pull that back up?
The state would please pull that up. We'll pause
Yes,
that
please.
for everyone.
Yeah, all the while is still helping him. And he doesn't get it nor appreciate it. How much the state and the judge has helped him through this.
Hold on, let's make sure the jury has it.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Okay, thank you. No problem, go ahead.
And you stated that you were in front of the Historical Society?
Correct.
And if I recall, you can correct me if I'm wrong, that would be somewhere around this area here?
Yes.
So
Can
was
we,
that a yes?
Yes.
Okay, thank
Can
you.
we erase that white? So the side streets, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to tap the screen. Can you erase that? I'm sorry.
Gosh.
The side
Darrell.
streets would be Buckley Street and Northeast Avenue. Would that be fair to say by looking at the map?
Yes, that's what the map shows.
And you said you don't recall if those side streets were barricaded.
I wasn't at the intersection. The
You were-
Historical Society is at that intersection, but I was in front of the Historical Society.
So would it be fair to say you were close to the side street?
I was close, but not at it, so I don't know if there was barricades there. I wasn't close enough to be by barricades.
So you stated you ran away from the commotion, so it would be fair to say at some point you moved from your position in front of the Historical Society, correct?
Correct.
And do you recall what side street you went down to when you were running?
We ran up to the building of the Historical Society on the side of East Avenue.
We can, just really quick, so that would be this side street here.
Yes.
We can take down exhibit 15. And you stated that you knew the identification of the driver of this SUV based on what you observed at the gas station, correct?
Can you repeat that?
You stated that you... Let me back up. You were able to identify the driver of this SUV based on what you observed at the gas station, correct?
The gas station, I saw the driver, yes.
Excuse me.
Do you recall
Co-creator
what the
Paris
driver was wearing
was
when you
meowing.
observed him at the gas station?
At the gas station, no.
Do you yourself recall in your telephone conversation with law enforcement stating that the driver was wearing a red-orange shirt?
That was not from the gas station.
So where would that description come from, if not the gas station?
I saw video footage of you in somebody's backyard.
His facial expressions make me want to puke.
So what did you observe the driver of the vehicle wearing at the gas station?
I don't recall.
So it'd be fair
The
to
middle
say
attorney,
that in your phone
they see-
conversation with law enforcement, you gave a description based on what you had seen from footage. I guess that would be the right word to use.
The shirt color, but your description was from the face was from the gas station.
And do you recall in that phone interview stating that you weren't positive on the shirt color?
Yes.
Do you recall in that phone interview stating that since seeing the news, that you may be getting the clothing description incorrect?
I remember saying that I've seen the news. I don't remember saying that that is why I'm getting it. It wasn't the same as when you were driving.
So would it be fair to say that your description came from watching footage at some point and from news reports at some point?
Not news reports.
But you did see this incident reported on the news.
Yes.
She saw you. So did everyone else. It's not a gotcha moment. Move on.
Did you see where the vehicle went when it passed your position?
Objection, can we just clarify whether that's at the gas station or the parade?
Fair enough. Sustained.
Sorry for that, I'll clarify.
Thank you.
Yeah. Please do.
Do you recall seeing where the vehicle went when it passed your position at the parade that evening?
Continued down the parade road.
And you already stated that during the parade, seeing the vehicle and not seeing the driver, how are you sure that that driver of the vehicle you saw at the gas station was the same vehicle at the parade?
I know that they were both red SUVs, Ford SUVs.
Were you yourself sure that they were the same vehicle?
They were the same model, same color, same make.
So what is the
Chilling.
make and model, if you recall, of the vehicle that you saw at the gas station?
Ford Escape.
And how did you come to that determination based on your observation at the gas station?
People know cars better than
Because
you.
I know a decent amount of cars.
Fair. Well, quit looking up like you're pious.
What do you mean by decent?
I mean, I don't know all makes, but I know this one for sure because I had a friend that had the same exact make and model.
There
Just
you
different
go.
color.
That's right. Now what?
So are you yourself able to just look at a vehicle and tell the make and model?
Some, yes.
A lot of people do know cars. Can't stand his facial expressions, guys. Still can't stand it. Them.
So it'd be fair to say some, not all.
Correct.
But she got that one, man. And you're in there for 1,000 years. Look at them. The attorneys are so... They're like, thank you, Darrell, for another one.
So that brings me back to the driver. You stated you didn't see the driver of the vehicle you saw at the parade. How did you know there was the same driver?
Objection. States the evidence. She never testified that she knows it's the same person.
Sustained.
I'm asking how did
Rephrase your question, please.
do you know if it was the same driver?
No.
No further questions?
All right, thank you. You may step down.
He's going to think he did all
You are
good and everything.
excused from your subpoena.
He did not,
It's
though.
4:34, so we
Look
will
at
end
him. Look at all cocky.
for the day. And I will read my instructions to the jury once again. Do not begin your deliberations and discussion of the case until all the evidence is presented, and I have instructed you on.
So there we have it. Another case of Darrell handing one of his witnesses directly to the prosecution. And you can tell he still thinks he did an amazing job, but he did not. But anyway, that's just my thoughts. I hope you all enjoyed this. I'm sorry it's been a while. I have really missed you all, and sometimes life, especially work and other things, kind of get in the way. I am going to try to publish some of the Boy in a Box trial, because I have really been doing a lot of research and working on it, but we'll see how YouTube cooperates with me on that one. But in the meantime, there's still some things on Sarah Boone that are coming up. Recently maybe I'll have seen or read or heard of it, but she, back in September of this year, she had written a letter to a different judge. This time she is complaining because her husband or ex-husband has not been paying her alimony, which he shouldn't. And I believe his name is Brian, but anyhow, I'll get into more on that when I publish a Sarah Boone video. But that's still coming up, and still focused on the Chad Dorman case, but that's not going to be coming up for a while. But again, if there are any other trials that you all might be interested in and you would like me to cover, please put it down below in the comments. As always, thank you so much for subscribing, watching, commenting. I truly do appreciate it. I love you. Be kind to yourself. Nope, let me get it right. Be kind. Don't forget to be kind to everyone else. And be kind to you. And I'll see you the next time.